How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As promised, we're bringing up the top 5 defenders for Steel Wave. I just came out with the top 5 attackers for Steel Wave a few days ago, so we're going into defenders. And I think most of you guys, or a good majority of people, use this as a guide of who they should get. I mean, most people don't have every operator in the game, surprisingly, but I get it. If you just are new to the game, you don't have all the operators, I understand. But my advice to you guys that are doing that, always get the cheaper operators first. Like, I would absolutely not recommend you getting the newest operators every single time. It's 25,000 renown, so I would instead get the 1,000 ones. Get Doc, Rook, get all those guys before you worry about getting DLC operators. All of your core operators, the original operators, right, those will be enough for you, especially when you're just starting out. And then you can, be a little more picky and pick some of the better operators. But with that out of the way, we're going to get into our top 5 defenders. Not everyone's going to agree, and I took some of the ones that I really had in the previous season. I took away Jaeger. That is one that I'm going to tell you right now that is not on this list anymore. I just don't think he's as top 5 as he used to be, and I definitely think a new operator took his place there. So we're going to start off at number 5. These are in no specific order, honestly, like 5 to 1. They're all just my top 5. They're not ranked accordingly. So we're going to go into my number 1 roaming operator. This is by far the best roamer right now. He's a dedicated roamer, and that is Vigil. So not only does Vigil have, one of the best guns in the game recoil wise, definitely with the K1A, he also has one of the best gadgets, especially for roaming, which is the ERC7. Thanks to its ability to not let drones see it, that just makes it so powerful. So the mix between being a 3-speed, having his ability or gadget which prevents drones from being able to see him, he just makes out for a really good roamer. And also his secondary choices are some of my favorite. He has the SMG-12, which is kind of a crazy gun, but the C75 auto also is one of the options for him. So I don't want to go into too much about the operator in general. I have a whole operator mastery series, which is just a guide series really on every operator. I'm just giving tips and advice on how to play every operator. Every operator in this list is, I think I have a video on pretty much all of them. So if you're interested on like the actual depths of the operator that I'm talking about, I have a whole video on how to play it. So just go to the playlist in my channel and you'll find all of those there. But we're going to go into my number 4. And this one's actually probably my favorite anchor in the game, and that is Maestro. Maestro definitely has the best defending gun. I would almost say it is the best defending gun. That ability to shoot 80 plus bullets in one mag without reloading with very little recoil is just so powerful. They took away the ACOG, but I definitely would say I use the holo anyways because the recoil is easier on every gun if you use a holo. So to me, it makes no difference, and I still get that 81 bullets, no recoil, and that is my advantage with Maestro. Now that's without me mentioning even his gadget. His gadget's fantastic as well. It is kind of the competitor to Echo. Both have the same kind of play style really. With both Maestro and Echo, I did not put Echo on this list even though it is a very, very honorable mention here at the number 4 spot. But with both of them, they have a similar play style. You want to put your Echo drone and or your Maestro cam in a spot where usually you can, do some plant denial. Maestro and Echo both do plant denial. It's just Echo's a little bit better at it, but Maestro has more, universal versatility there. Actually does damage to the opponent, can destroy drones, etc. So that's really all I got to say about Maestro, but I would like to know, would you have put Echo on this list or Maestro? It was really a toss-up for me. I like that Echo has the ACOG, but Maestro has a better gun overall. Plus, I just think that Maestro is a little more fun to use personally from a gadget standpoint. While Echo, you kind of have to sit back, relax, wait the whole round, and then try to do some plant denial. I think Maestro has more of a fighting chance in gunfights. So that was our number 4 there. I actually have my number 3 as well. It is Valkyrie. This is one of my favorite operators in the entire game. One of the most fun to use, and one that really benefits a player that really wants to be good at an operator. Once you have your cam spots, once you have all that, you can win and get so many kills without any skill really. You'll be behind people, you'll do runouts with Valk cams. It'll just become a very easy time if you learn how to throw your Valk cams properly. I think there's no world where Valkyrie's not on a top 5 defender list. I just don't think I can name 5 better than Valkyrie, so that's why she's on this list. And now granted, the MPX shoots like a BB gun, honestly. It does like 20 damage, so you have to be able to hit headshots really. And it's definitely not like the most user-friendly thing you'll ever use in the game, but you do have a Deagle as your backup, so that's a very powerful gun. And as long as you get your aim straight, Valkyrie, if you learn the Valkyrie spots, I have a whole series on Valkyrie camp spots. I love Valkyrie, and I love finding Valkyrie camp spots. I go in custom matches for literally hours just to find some things. Whenever I'm bored at the game, that's usually what I end up doing. Now, I definitely wouldn't consider a beginner operator at all. I think it's pretty advanced actually in the grand scheme of things. I don't think this is one of the first operators you should get at all. And that's just because I think you need a lot of map knowledge before you can play Valkyrie. You need to know where people push from and where like the main choke points are on the map before you can actually be confident in throwing a Valkyrie cam spot, because you need to be able to throw these cams where people are actually going to come. If you throw the cam in a corner somewhere or throw the cam in sight, just something that's not smart, right? That is never going to be beneficial to your team at all. So I would definitely stay away from Valkyrie if you are more of a newer player. And I definitely advise you to stick to operators where you just need to put down the gadget and play the round without actually having a big, like, I guess, role on the team. Whenever you're playing Valk, you need to have confidence and you need to have good Valkyrie spots, or else you're pretty useless. So that's enough on Valk. I got to ramble on it about a little bit because that's my favorite operator, I think, on defense, or at least one of my favorite operators on defense for sure. So let's hop into number 2, which is one of those original operators that were introduced in the game year 0, really, and that is Bandit. So Bandit's really proof that you don't need to spend 25,000 renown on operator if you don't have the renown to waste. Bandit is needed basically every game at least a few times. Most sites you need a bandit. You need to be able to bandit off or electrocute a wall so they don't have easy access with the thermite. Now bandit can be pretty user friendly, especially for newer players, with a pretty decent gun with the MP7. I definitely think anyone can really get the hang of it. It's just you need to know where to put your 4 battery packs at, where you're going to electrocute the walls. You usually want to put them on 4 walls. Don't even mess around with barbed wire really, and you want to put them on walls that are really often challenged. Now there's advanced strategies, of course, bandit tricking and all that that you're gonna need to get used to eventually, but as a lower ranked player you'll be fine. You don't need to know how to bandit trick yet. You're eventually going to need to know, but for now just put them down on walls that you think people will try to go through. That usually includes any exterior walls or any walls that go to the outside of the building. Those are usually targeted a lot. For example, chalet garage, you're going to want to put those down on the garage for sure anytime you are playing that site. Same thing goes for pretty much any site where there's an outside too. Just think of clubhouse if you're guarding cash room, and server, there's that outside deck really that you need to put bandits down on, because that is one of the main points, and that is where everyone will always try to get. They're going to bring a thermite there, and you got to just be ready to have your bandits down, be able to defend that, and you have a pretty easy gun with the MP7. So that is our number 2. I think that is probably one of the most useful ones on this list that you're going to need. Day 1, you're going to want bandit, so get on bandit, spend that 1,000 on bandit, and you'll definitely feel a little bit better once you have an operator that will always be useful no matter how the game develops. Really, bandit will never go out of style. So our number 1 is the new operator, Melusi. So she came into the game with not only a pretty good weapon, she shares the same weapon as Legion has, the T5 SMG. She also comes equipped 3 speed and has probably one of the most OP defensive gadgets currently in the game. And that gadget is called the Banshee. So that gadget has a radius of 4 meters, so pretty decent. They brought it down a little bit, but it's pretty much insane. The sound is actually really one of the main advantages. It creates a really loud sound and distorts the enemy as well. Not only that, it can't be destroyed by bullets. It kind of works like a bulletproof camera. You can melee it or explode it with grenades or anything like that, but it becomes really tough if you get into a good spot. If you get your Banshee into a really good spot and make it so you can't really knife it easily, you'd have to do some crazy parkour to get up to where your Banshee is, so it'll completely distort them. They won't even be able to jump up there, and if they aren't Ash, Sophia, have nades or anything like that, they're pretty much out of luck. So that's why the Banshee can get really really annoying. So Melusi's definitely a roaming operator, a fun operator, T5 SMG, really good gun also. So that's why she's on the top 5 list, as well as her being new. I like to have new operators that are currently in meta. The fact that we're getting newer operators that actually are useful. I love that Ace and Melusi are both useful. The previous season, Oryx, Yana, those two, they're pretty mediocre. So I'm glad that we are on the right page, getting some operators that are actually really usable and can kind of fit into the meta and become the meta, really. So that's our top 5 defenders for year 5 Steel Wave. I'm gonna probably do another one next season. I don't know. It seems like these do really well. They get a lot of new people to the channel, and I love to have new subscribers. So we'll continue to do things that kind of bring in new crowds, just try to get a more diverse following. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you did enjoy and aren't subscribed yet, hit subscribe button. I usually don't ask, but I'd really appreciate it if we could push us over that 15K mark, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Bully.